graphics card from the ocean?
This is a C-grade graphics card that we bought on eBay for $189. Did we get a deal of a lifetime or did we get scammed? We're about to find out, but first, a word from today's sponsor. Are you tired of your unactivated Windows install on your gaming PC? Well, today's video sponsor, GVG Mall, has you covered. GVG Mall is an online marketplace to gain access to really awesome discounted game keys and, more specifically, as we mentioned, Windows 10 licenses.
It is incredibly easy to get your Windows 10 or 11 activation key from GVG Mall. Just use code TB20 to get a special discount, and then all you have to do is take that code, put it into Windows, and boom, you have an activated Windows copy.
We have been working with GVG Mall for several years now, and we love the reliability of all the products they have to offer, so be sure to check the link in the description down below. Use code TB20 to save on your next purchase of a Windows key or other product from GVG Mall. All right, guys, so we have a graphics card right here that we paid a little over $189 for. It is an RTX 3060 Ti,
Whoa.
and that's a crazy price, but the caveat is this graphics card is C grade, meaning it has a lot of wear and tear.
I'm gonna open it from the bottom just so I don't have to cut through the label, but yeah, from the pictures, you know, it's kind of funny because the card looks bad, but honestly, it just looks like a typical mining card. This is just one of the few eBay sellers that actually like went out of their way to like really disclose, like, hey, this card is in bad shape, and I've never seen anything below C grade.
No, C grade is pretty much the lowest. I think D grade is probably for parts not working at this point. So let's see, did we get a good deal on this thing, or is it kind of crusty? It's honestly not as bad as I thought.
It's an HP card.
Okay.
It's a little HP logo there, and it, I mean, has, yeah, I see some, I kind of wonder how this happened. Like,
yeah,
what happened to this little card? And then obviously,
the ports are a little messed up.
I almost wonder, has the backplate been painted maybe, you know? And that looks like factory paint. Normally these are like kind of chromed over and they rust really bad. I don't know, this like oddly enough is not giving me mining card vibes.
Yeah, no, I was worried it would be like incredibly rusty, but the main thing I'm noticing is just a bunch of dust, which can be blown out pretty quickly with our little air compressor. It is an HP card, and yeah, with these scratches, it's obviously people like trying to, I'll say fondling. They're fondling ports. Yeah, fondling the ports. It's obviously people trying to plug in the ports from the back of their computer and just going scratch, scratch, scratch. Like I haven't done that. I've seen graphics cards that look like this. So
now what about this one? Was that someone trying to?
Now this one seems more like an accidental drop or damage, maybe. Hopefully it's not a major
they thought
drop.
The 6-pin was right there.
Oh yeah, so they were just going like do with the 6-pin, but looks very, okay, this is kind of scuffed too. I just noticed this. Is that thermal paste on there? And it's like kind of scratched.
That is another point is,
I'm gonna grab an alcohol swab.
This card looks like it's been taken apart because if you notice, there's no anti-tamper sticker anywhere. So that kind of makes me think that maybe they repasted it or maybe even changed the fans out.
Yeah, well, I think what we're gonna do is obviously, let's see if it works in its current condition. Yeah. And then from there, we'll take it out of our beautiful test bench. It just got through a Temu experience. If you haven't seen that video, watch that video, by the way. And then we'll give it a good cleaning and try to take this from a C grade to at least a B- grade. That's all I can really ask for. And at that price point of like under $200, if it works, I think we got a really good deal.
One thing I think we'll do as well, if the temps aren't good, we'll definitely give you guys a little short tutorial on how to repaste and add new thermal pads, and then we'll do a comparison test.
Does it actually work? And also I gotta see if I plugged everything back in right on this test bench because it was a little out there.
We Temu'd it.
We Temu'd it.
Do the fans still not plugged in?
The back fan's not plugged in.
That's fine.
That's fine. That's not that
I
important.
won't change testing, right?
Maybe it's the back fan that's so loud because it's so much quieter.
It is quiet. I think it
oh, wait. Yes!
Wow.
We got video out, baby. Jonah, you can show the people that we have display out on this graphics card.
No keyboard detected. PCIe X16, everything.
Yeah, graphics card works. This glows, so we got a little GeForce RTX action. So I guess what we'll do is clean it up. Just do a basic cleaning. We'll start with basic level cleaning. And then if we know some really bad temperatures from the benchmarks, we'll do a thermal paste swap. But I'm thinking it's gonna be fine with just a little bit of dusting and a little bit of rubbing alcohol cleaning. So let's throw it on there, clean her up, and make her a B- grade. All right, guys, now that we have this RTX 3060 Ti plugged into our test bench, let's dive into some game testing, shall we? Now, the games we decided to test are as follows. We have Cyberpunk, Call of Duty Warzone, Far Cry 6, and Battlefield 2042. Because we are testing this card in its out-of-box configuration, meaning we haven't done any cleaning yet or any sort of changes to the card. We wanted to make sure it worked before we tore it apart and did like a thermal paste swap out or anything. And once we knew that it did work, we would do some cleaning to see if we could improve those temperatures. But we got to see what temperatures are working
working with right now. And first up in Cyberpunk, 1080p high settings with quality DLSS, which is a benefit of these RTX cards getting DLSS support. We got an average of 126 FPS, a minimum of 62, and a max of 185. Once again, this GPU is paired with our Ryzen 7 5700X, which I think is a pretty solid pairing if you do get a good deal on this CPU. And the fact that 1080p with DLSS, mind you, it is a upscaling technology, we are still getting an average of 100 plus FPS for the graphics card we paid under $200 for. I'm starting to feel like we got a really good deal here. And the next game we decided to test was Far Cry 6, 1080p high settings, and this time we didn't want to use DLSS. I wanted to see the raw horsepower of this graphics card. We ended up getting an average of 123, a max of 146, and a minimum of 92. Again, very impressive showing in a AAA title that I will say is a little bit easier to run, but still getting 100 plus FPS with this graphics card is very impressive, and it got me thinking of what kind of PC build I want to do with this thing, because whenever we find these really good deals on graphics cards that, well, sometimes are really hard to replicate, we like to do a build guide to show you guys with a lot of deal hunting and persistence, you can make a really good value for money PC. So I might dive into the used market a little bit and find some good CPUs to pair with this GPU. Let me know in the comment section down below if you have any ideas. Now let's test Warzone 2.0 at 1080p with the balance preset with quality DLSS. We got 144 plus FPS, and sometimes we're getting 180. Again, incredibly impressive performance with this 3060 Ti. It's really competing very nicely with something like a 6700 XT from AMD, and again, for the new price, you're paying well over $200 for that graphics card now. And let's not forget the new price of a 3060 Ti. You're gonna pay a lot more for the graphics card compared to the used market. Now, yes, is this a really good condition card? No, it's definitely in a C grade state, but if you're somebody who's willing to take a risk on some of these graphics cards from a seller like this, which again, I can't promise if these are gonna be consistently in stock, but if you do happen to find one for under $200 and you're okay with the cosmetic damage, you're gonna get some really good value for your money. And the last game we decided to test was Battlefield 2042 at high settings with no DLSS, and we were getting 100 plus FPS, but this was definitely the game after running all these games that we were able to tell the temperatures of this graphics card, and the highest we saw at peak was about 83 degrees Celsius, normally around 82 degrees Celsius. Realistically, we might be able to get a little bit cooler, but it could just be this 2-fan card, which is an HP Omen graphics card. It's an OEM card, so it's not nearly as beefy as like an aftermarket card from like an MSI or something like that. We may be stuck at 80 degrees Celsius, which I think is more than acceptable, but we are going to give it a shot here, and because the performance is so good, I really want to get this thing cleaned up. I really want to make sure everything is nice and good, because I want to do a really awesome budget gaming PC with this, and really just start the trend of, hey, maybe you should take a risk on some of these C-graded graphics cards, because with a little bit of love, you can get some crazy value for your money. So let's go ahead and take it off the test bench and see if we can clean her up and make her run cooler.
All right, guys, so we have the graphics card here. We ran some initial tests, and as you saw from the benchmarks, it performed very well, but it did get a little bit warm, up to 83 degrees Celsius. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is clean this thing up the best way we can and try to see if the temperatures end up dropping. But yeah, we're thinking we're gonna do a thermal paste cleaning. We'll see exactly what the thermal paste looks like, but we think this card should be anywhere between the 77 to 78 degrees Celsius range. It's not gonna be a massive difference, but if we can get there, it's a guess. Hopefully we can drop it down a little bit more, but it is just a 2-fan card, and this thing does pull a decent amount of power.
All right, the thermal paste actually looks like it honestly could be newer. The pads don't look, I don't think we need to replace the pads.
Look good,
I think these
actually
are new. Gonna put a little thermal paste on, we'll put some good stuff on there and give it a nice little spread before we put the cooler back down.
Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah, the PCB itself, once you get all the dust off, looks pretty solid. We might wipe it down a little bit as well with some rubbing alcohol just to get everything off. Really, the goal is to try to get rid of some of the cosmetic stuff, because performance-wise, the card worked fine as you saw in the benchmarks. We're trying to just make this a little bit better.
All right, I think now if you give it a little dab, I feel like we'll have all of it off, and then I'll give the actual dye one more little wipe so it's nice and smooth.
Yeah, it looks fine.
Okay.
So let that dry. It's drying very slowly, but.
All right, so we're gonna use, we'll just use some of this, some Arctic MX4. And one thing we are gonna do is I'm gonna take, that was actually like way too much by the way, but I'm gonna take this and basically try to kind of spread it around a little bit, because these don't really work quite the same as like a CPU cooler will. As far as the equal pressure goes, sometimes these kind of spread the paste all to one side.
Real men use their fingers, by the way.
All right, I think I'm pretty confident that it'll spread pretty well with that. I mean, we're about to find out. If the temps are worse, then we know I just suck at doing this.
Okay, so now we gotta clean the actual, well, heatsink off. So let's really hit this with the blowmeter run. Ah!
Now we can go ahead and put the graphics card back together. Jonah, do you feel like you get dumber like working here by the day?
But yeah, guys, this is what the card looks like.
It actually looks pretty good.
Yeah, not too shabby.
I guess it's, you know, I don't know, if I sold this on eBay, I don't think I call it C grade anymore. I think I call it B grade.
I would say this is acceptable. We're gonna go ahead and do, as we wrap this video up, we'll run the Battlefield 2042 benchmark to see if this thing hits 83C again, or if we get a lower temperature overall. And if that's the case, well, we got a B- graphics card now. It is no longer under the C.
All right, guys, we just got done benchmarking this graphics card twice because the first time we tested the card pretty much as is, C grade if you will, but we think that someone already had been in because there was no tamper stickers, and honestly that thermal paste looked too good to be true, and also the thermal pads looked very new, so we did reapply thermal paste. It dropped 2 degrees, but honestly, not even really worth it.
Yeah, not super worth it, but you know what? In its current condition, it might be C grade, but to us for a really cheap budget build, I think we're getting a ton of value here, especially when the average price of a 3060 Ti right now in the used market is well over $200. Getting it well below $200 is a really good buy. So if you guys want to shop around for some C-rated graphics cards that are not located under the C, check the link in the description down below. It'll be affiliated and will help us out. Let us know what you think of this graphics card. Would you buy one for yourself? And let us know if there's any build guides you want to see with this bad boy. I think I'm doing a video of a very cheap budget build that is going to be more than capable and probably one of our best performers that we've ever made.
So as always, we hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, check out our other 2 YouTube channels and also our twitch.tv/ToastyBros. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
And we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
Peace out. This graphics right here is C grade, but you know what's not? PCBros.tech.
PCBros.tech is A+. Just take a look at the reviews. Everyone loves PCBros.tech. Use code ToastyBros2 and check out and save 2% on a gaming PC, gaming laptop, or a build mat like this. You can use it to clean graphics cards that you get that are C grade. Use code ToastyBros2 and check out and save 2% and ignore the loud noises because we're busy, we're growing.
People beating on us.